Hello everyone and welcome to the session on what property seekers are looking during COVID-19. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. My name is Kuga, your trainer today. There's a chat box where you can prompt any questions or comments if you may have. I'll be answering your question in between trainings or after as well. This training or these insights are very short. It's just going to take you about 15 minutes or lesser. I'm just going to share with you some data or insight. Unlike the other trainings, it's much more hands-on or much more in depth. So that this is just for your knowing or knowledge purpose. So following the MCO, people have strongly urged that remain at homes and curb further outbreaks. So since then, real estate agents have been experiencing a sharp decline in inquiry calls and requests for property viewing, whether the purchase or rent. So you might have questions like, is it the time that you're posting, or what should I know? Do I still do online advertisement? What are actually property seekers are looking? What is the focus and so on? So I'm here to cover most of your questions with this agenda, which is first one is what people are looking at, where to focus your listing, what are the opportunities in the property market index in just in a glance, right? So know what people are looking at, sorry. So the first one is, as you can see in my graph, right? So there's a depth of views of consumer behavior in the month of April. So that is quite common because we started our lockdown, I think, on the 18th of March. So things then have actually slowed down and we are getting used to working from home, being at home and things like that. So in fact, I am still not adapted to it because I have newborn and a toddler running around. So it is kind of like the most busiest, I would say, in years, right? These 2 months have actually changed a lot of perception and things. So during this, a lot of our consumers are actually being utilized or occupied with so many other things that are happening. But that doesn't mean that real estate is actually gone. So in my views, right, real estate business is a business that regardless of the economic, it can never go down, it can never be bad. It's like you might see some impact, a little impact, but it's a great industry that you know for sure that it will get back up. So the good news is in May we have about 40% increase on the total impression. So it shows that consumers, in layman term, right, we are back in the game, right? So do not worry. That means things are getting better after this. So for web traffic audience wise, we can see we have new visitors almost 67% and a returning visitor of 34%. So why is this important, or why is this sharing? There's no bad or good, saying that returning visitor is more or less. Both visitors or any visitors are important to us. So returning visitor shows that people are still very serious to get a property, or maybe this is the second time round they are looking for some investment, or they even maybe looking for family members and things like that. So new visitors means new leads, potential bigger your customer database and so on. So this is the breakdown. The next one, so you can see, okay, Kuga, so what are they looking at? Are they looking at landed property, or, are they looking at condominiums? So in our data from January to May, looks like condominium have won by at least, I would say 10%, right? So it's almost 60% and 40% on landed searches. So we can say condominium have won by 10%. But when we speak about landed property, we know that consumers are looking to buy compared to renting a landed property. So when we say we have about 40% of consumer are looking at landed property, and out of the 40%, almost 74% are actually looking to buy landed properties. And when we narrow down to condominiums, we have about almost 46% looking to buy and 54% looking to rent condominium. This is the breakdown. And then overall against rent against sale listing searches, looks like sale has won by not so much, by at least 7%. So you have about 57%, and the searches for rent is about 42%. Why am I sharing you this? You can come with your own findings and okay, looks like I'm focusing on landed and I've been focusing on rental. Looks like people are looking to buy more. So let me change my listing, maybe I should look for listing that's selling and things like that. So you can come with your own findings and determine what is the best for you. And next, right, okay, I know this thing, so what should I do next? Where should I focus my listing, right? So I did a data search for top 25 area searches in the past 30 days, right? So as you can see, Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Penang, and so on is the highest in the past 30 days. So the last few years will be like KLCC, Tanjung Tokong, Tapa, Ipoh, Subang Jaya, and so on. So this is just a top 25 areas in the whole of Malaysia. So this is the breakdown of top 25. And if you're looking at just overall, right, more to like a state-wise, so you can see Selangor is obviously the highest, followed by Kuala Lumpur, and then followed by Johor and Penang, and the rest is very much littered. So this is the findings to give a cleaner look the popularity of based on the, I would say, state-wise. And now we know which area, which state. So next thing that we want to consolidate, right, is actually when are these property seekers looking at our property site? I want to know so that I will post a listing on that particular day or week of the day and so on. So from the data that we extracted, looks like Tuesday and Monday, okay, start off on Sunday, right? And then picked at Tuesday has the highest number of views. So usually on the weekends, you come back, most of the Malaysians, they very much, some balik kampung, and then, they have things to do, preparing for school or preparing for next week and so on. So, or even they actually use the weekend to view houses, especially on Friday afternoon or Saturday. So start on Sunday onwards, you can see it's slightly increasing. So now you can actually tell yourself, okay, looks like I've been posting listing on every Wednesday. So no wonder I'm getting lesser views or lesser leads and things. So maybe this time I want to try posting on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. So you can try to see what best works for you. And then this is the top weekly top viewed condo. I extracted this as of 8 June. So next week we have a new training which I will refresh the data. So weekly top viewed condo, the most highest for now is Empire Damansara at PJ, followed by Bukit Jalil, the Half, the Tamarind, Timur Laut, and then Bayang Lepas, Penang, Tropicana, and so on. So this is the weekly top viewed condo. So now we know all this, right? Let's assume that you actually have a listing this particular condo or that particular places and so on. So what you can do with your listing, let's say you already have an active listing or you're going to create a listing, you can actually decide to spotlight. So most of you in our training here today might know what is spotlight. If you don't know, I will go really in depth in other trainings as well. You can actually sit in and get to know more. So basically, spotlight is a feature that allows you to get more views. So your listing will be before the regular listing. So it's like a 7 days. Let me just show you how it looks like first. So example of spotlight, this is the web view and the app view. So you have the nice red borderline, image carousel, your headlines, your beautiful picture, your call and WhatsApp, and so on. So, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like against regular listing, in case you ask. So the regular listing is slightly shorter, smaller. You don't have image carousel. You don't have the shortcut to WhatsApp and call, and then the image carousel and so on. But what's the most important thing of this, right? Spotlight influence the ranking. So if you have regular listing, so before regular listing is the spotlighted listing. So spotlighted listing is unlimited. So it could be sometimes 20 agents spotlighted or 30 agents spotlighted. So you have to spotlight in order to be on top of the regular listers. So constantly go back at your area, go back at your listing and find your listing, see where is your listing. So if you're listing like quite behind, maybe you want to try to actually, to spotlight in order to appear in the front of the pages. And it's very easy. It's self-serve via AgentNet. All you need to do is go to your listing, choose your active listing. You'll see like a spotlight kind of a symbol there. If you click on it, and it'll tell you, hey, to spotlight you need about 15 credits or you need about 20 credits. So if you decided, okay, I'll spotlight because it's 7 days and so on, so it's going to be worth it. And then you just click spotlight now. And then it will show when are you spotlighted and when is it ending and so on. Just, I would say, what we call that, a synopsis. So usually particular area, right, we will give the first 4 slots to weekly feature listing. So that it depending, sometimes it might be taken, sometimes empty. Otherwise, it starts off with spotlight listing. So it's unlimited slots for spotlight listing and then followed by the regular listing. So remember, spotlight is 7 days as well. Okay, so the last slide is where's the opportunities. So basically, this is the short-term effect of COVID-19. So as you can see in the quarter of 2019, it's actually slowly in depth compared to the last 2017 and so on, but it's slightly going high up in 2020. So when the Malaysian government announced the MCO starting 18th of March, right, there's a sharp drop in the general consumer activities in market. They said the asking price in Q1 20 saw a Q&Q increase, quarter-to-quarter increase, which sustained property search activities backed by strong pricing outlook at the start of 2020. We could expect rising property prices to hold in ground despite the pandemic. Any price decline would be a temporary. And then if you're wondering which areas are the property types will be fare better despite the pandemic, you have come to the right place basically. So NAPIC annual property market report stated that the terrace house has the highest annual price growth in the terms of the property type. So the chart shows the breakdown of the total residential property transacted in 2019. Okay, so it shows that terrace house has the highest. Additionally, survey results from the PropertyGuru Malaysia Consumer Sentiment, right, reported terrace house as the residence of choice by 39% amongst Malaysian. So according to Malaysia Property Market Index, right, based on historical data, terrace home holds the most stable price growth among the property types with 6.5% growth since 1999 to 2004 post-Asian financial crisis. So again, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor remains undisputed champion, stated property sales. However, Malacca, Penang and Johor are increasingly gaining popularity among the property seekers. So basically, long story short, terrace house will never go wrong. Okay. And then finally, I said finally earlier, but so finally the PMI, which is the Property Market Index, I've screenshot certain index for you. So this is for Selangor and KL. So as you can see, compared to 2019, right, in Q4, so in Q1, it is actually increased. So we can see quite, I would say, 1.94 increase from 91.43 in Q4 2009. So 19. So followed by KL increase with 1.81%. So from 94.9% it went to 96.62 over the same period. So usually I could assume from the graph we saw, right, December will be a bit slower month except for 2018 in Selangor, and it's actually start to back up in January itself. So same goes to Penang and Johor Market Index. Q1 in Penang, we saw an increase about 0.13. And then for Johor, we can see an increase 0.59. Okay, so as a summary, the recent 3 months, property seekers are actively engaging and our portal average about 3.4 million users per month. Consumer search behavior focused on condo by 20% more compared to landed. Property seekers are more actively searching on weekdays, and finally, terrace house have the highest annual price growth. So this is just the summary. Like I said, it's a very short webinar. I wouldn't say it's a training, a webinar. So it's more very insightful. So I have another session next week. I will be refreshing those numbers to see whether it remains the same or it's different. So if you would like to know what happened, what changes within 1 week, do sign up with us. Otherwise, I'm just going to share with you the last 3 slides. This is very important slide. Our Guru K initiative for agent partners. So I'm sure most of you already know what is it about. If you don't, please do reach out to our customer service or salesperson and see if you miss out anything. And our amazing marketers, they're coming out with, or they still come out with weekly fresh content on Agent News. So every Wednesday you can foresee, Wednesday or Thursday you can foresee a new news will be displayed, or I would say write up in your Agent News section. So it's very short but very insightful, very important. So please go and have a look at it. And finally, it's our webinar. So we have a special edition webinar series, and we're coming up with some expert series as well that you'll be notified in your future. So please do look out at our academy and do sign up for more important trainings and so on. So if there's no questions, I will be answering your questions after I end the webinar. So please do reach out should you feel that you have any concerns or you're not sure of anything. We'll be more happy than helping you. So keep sanitized, keep social distancing, and hopefully we will beat this pandemic soon, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you, everybody.